What's up guys, it's Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about how and when to gank. I watch a lot of games, especially low MMR mid lane games, and I notice a common trend. People are just wasting their time with their ganks. Their ganks are either just low impact, or actually hurt the lane that they're ganking. Yes, you can get a kill in a lane and actually hurt that lane, believe it or not. So we're going to be following Liquid Quetta here on his QoP and see how he actually effectively moves throughout the map. There's actually going to be a lot of interesting tips here that I think a lot of you have not thought about or implemented into your game yet, and as a result, let's get into it. Also, if you've been enjoying the content here on this YouTube channel, if you've been enjoying what I've been putting out, I don't know, maybe you like the top 10 meta heroes, like the video. I appreciate it, helps me out. I want to keep doing content like this in the future, of course. And now let's get into it. Also, over on the main gameleap website, I plan to do some more content in terms of pro replays. Usually I focus more on doing the pro replays for YouTube, but I want to do a few for the main website as well. In addition, I'm doing Random at 6K. If you don't know what that is, Random at 6K is where I basically play pubs and I analyze my own games so you can get in the head of, you know, me, a pro player, because typically when I'm doing these pro replay analysis, I have to, and not completely guess, but somewhat guess on what they're thinking and what their opinions are. But when I'm doing my own replay analysis, I can give you exactly what I'm thinking and show you exactly how I win my games and how you can do it too. So the first thing I want to point out is that he is not going to gank 2 minutes in. He's not going to gank 3 minutes in. He's not going to gank 4 minutes in. A lot of people get this wrong, guys. I need you to stop. If you're a mid lane player, stop right now. You have to stop. If the game is not past like at least minute 5, or there is some very, very specific circumstance that allows you to gank, you have to stop. Now, there are 3 main ways I like to think about ganking that makes it very, very simple. There are obviously outliers, and we'll see that in this game. He makes an outlier gank, at least in my opinion. But the main ways are either around bounty runes, a haste rune, or outposts. And those are typically the easiest ways, at least in my opinion, to look at it. Now, in addition, it can also be according to your farming pattern, but that's just a whole nother topic that I've actually talked about a lot in other videos. So upcoming here is my first example that I want to stress to a lot of people. Let's look at the map right now. It really, really looks to me like he could gank top. So on the career coming in right now, he has a salve and a mango, right? So he's going to have enough mana to cast a couple spells. He has a DD as well. He could easily gank, right? I mean, if you just look at the top lane, look what's happening, right? They're actually very far up on the enemy team, right? They're very far up, so why wouldn't he gank? Because it is significantly more important to continue to sustain and win your lane and get a level advantage that the mid lane has the best advantage of in Dota, right? If you leave mid, you are giving up the most XP on the map, right? At least if a support ganks, someone else is going to be sapping their lane, right? But if you leave mid, you are completely griefing the highest amount of XP in the game at this point in time, unless of course you know someone's playing Veno jungle. But regardless, you notice he just straight up goes back mid, which I love. Not only is he going to be able to contest his Shadow Fiend and actually have proper impact, but he's not going to waste his time ganking a level 2, level 3 Bat Rider, and like it's so low skill even if they gank these guys. And now I'm going to explain why. What if he kills the Tiny? What happens, right? What happens? The Tiny will just TP back in. In fact, the Ursa and the Dark Willow will most likely commit a large portion of their resources to actually assist in the kill, and as a result, they will be both low mana or low health, or both, and Tiny will come back full. Do you understand that that is not a good thing? You are griefing their lane. You can gank the lane and it won't help you. That's why when safe laners complain that they don't get a gank and that's the reason why they lost their lane, yes, it can be true in like very specific circumstances, but more often than not, a gank would not have saved your lane. In fact, if you really want to have impact when ganking, I recommend you double gank. Just to quickly explain what that is, it basically means when you gank a lane, you don't instantly just leave. You basically stick around, you wait for them to TP back in, and then you kill them again. And then they die without TP, and that's actually effective. The only thing you have to be careful about there, though, is that, just to put it simply, you have to understand that that means you're not mid for a very long period of time. So if you're gonna double gank, you need to make sure that, you know, a support is actually going to take your lane. Getting back to Quetta, though, you notice he's level 6 now, buying a ton of regen because that is important in Dota. But for the most part, even though he's a Queen of Pain with ultimate, he's not doing anything like popping top shrine. He's just sitting mid, right? He's simply sitting mid, even buying his own wards, Papa Bless, right? He is sitting mid. That is it, guys. I'm just trying to stress this, right? Gets an arcane rune. You might be like, oh, he got an arcane rune. Why doesn't he instantly walk top? Well, actually, in this case, you're partially right. Now, the first thing I want to pay attention to is where does he TP? Out of vision, right? I know this might sound simple. It's like, oh, well, how could they even have vision? The wave's not in. You're right. In this case, it's basically impossible for him to TP in vision. But for the most part, he's trying to TP to as close to the tree line as possible. If they were here, he would want to TP here or even deeper in if he could, right? It is very important when you are ganking to not show yourself. And you might be like, Speed, once again, this is so self-explanatory, but why does no one do it? Every single time I watch a game that's 4K and below, no one's doing this. They're just TPing in the middle here, and it's such a grief to their own game. So really think about this, like, am I TPing out of vision? You need to TP out of vision, right? Because it's going to allow you to set up your ganks. Now, he actually fails this gank, which is why I typically don't like people TPing to gank, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, at least now he gets the bounty rune, which is pretty funny that it's still there, but he's able to eventually pick up the kill on the Batrider. If he didn't have an Arcane Rune, I would think this is a very, very bad gank, because it would hurt his mana pool extremely severely, it would make his ultimate an extremely long cooldown, and it wouldn't be that effective, because now if we look at the Batrider, it's like, is his game really griefed? Not at all, guys. This is what I'm trying to make clear. This is why you need to be very diligent in what your ganks are. They need to be quick, efficient, and you need to instantly get back to farming like Quetta has done now. Because if you don't do that, you're not actually creating a net worth lead for anyone. You are simply griefing yourself, right? So he gets straight back to farming. Next thing I just want to point out is that he's hitting the mid tower. Because hitting the mid tower is more important than you can think. It's so important, right? He wins his lane, right? He's doing a good job. He's not that far ahead necessarily in CS. Actually, no, he's way behind in CS. I mean in net worth, right? He's not necessarily that far ahead in net worth. So what is he doing? You know, he's just taking the mid tower. It's extremely effective, right? SF makes a great TP outplay, but for the most part, right, he's just pushing in the mid lane and taking the tower. I swear, guys, if you can literally pick any hero and focus on shoving in mid and taking the tower, especially if you're a late dominator, you will have significantly more impact than ganking. Like, you'll get so much more farm, and you'll actually force rotations like a hero like this Jakiro, and forcing a rotation like the Jakiro is far better. It's actually like killing the Jakiro twice, especially if he gets nothing out of it. It's like killing him twice. Right? Because now he's just chilling mid. Like, what does this guy do? I don't know. He's probably going to do some warding, right? I guess. But look, he's just walking around because he was forcing the mid tower. That is actual impact. And please, please, please think about that, right? Even after he takes the mid tower, does he instantly walk bottom? No. Does he instantly walk top? No. He pushes out a mid wave, right? He pushes out a mid wave. Now he makes this awful gank here where he blinks on top of an SF. Should not have probably walked that close to him. Regardless, ends up dying. Not that big of a deal. Really, all I'm trying to say is the gank patterns of these high MMR players are what you need to try to copy. Now, I understand that in your pubs, the laning stage actually lasts a lot longer. This is something I want to acknowledge right now. The laning stage, the lower and lower MMR you get, typically lasts longer and longer. People will stay in their lane literally as long as the game is. Like a Drow Ranger like this Drow will be in lane up till minute like 13. So it's actually extremely easy to gank her. And in that case, I actually agree. What you should do is combine what I'm about to show you with the gank, and you'll all of a sudden become extremely efficient and the most farmed hero on the map by a large margin. So what he does is he picks up a smoke, he pushes the Drow out of mid, actually gets the kill, but next thing he does is the most important part to all of this, right? Besides pushing in the mid wave, which I'm trying to stress to you, and picking up a regen rune, he starts just killing camps. Believe it or not, guys, on a hero like Queen of Pain, a ganker, you can kill camps, right? It's the same thing for any of the other ganking mids. They all typically have some sort of wave clear or jungle shove, right? And as a result, you should kill camps. In addition, it gives you the chance to get jungle items, right? So he's like, okay, I don't want to TP top. Bottom is relatively secured. I have good vision bottom. So I'm going to play bottom. And I'm going to look for a potential play bottom. But in the downtime, he can simply kill some creep waves, right? Pushes in some jungle camps, gets back to the mid wave, kills the mid wave, looks for the next jungle camp. It was dead. Doesn't matter, right? He's going to go to the next camp. Cuts the bottom wave. You might be like, well, Speed, he's not killing anyone. This is so low like, why isn't he killing anyone? This Quap is being so useless. He's literally AFK farming. Like, no, he's not AFK farming. This is extremely useful. It's going to put pressure on the bottom tower. It's going to force someone to shove in the mid lane. It's going to get him his own jungle items. Like, this shovel thing is actually broken. It gives him 150 health and just consistent. It's like a 60 GPM talent. It's absolutely broken, and he gets it because he's killing some camps, and believe it or not, he's gonna keep doing it, right? I'm not saying that you can never gank, but what would be an effective gank? And this is what I want you to combine. I want you to do exactly what he's doing here, right? Push in mid, jungle camp, right? Potentially small camp. Oh, there's a Drow bottom. She's half HP. Quick kill, back to the jungle. Why is this effective? Because it means you're not committing your TPs. It means you're hard to read, right? You know what's extremely easy to read? The Queen of Pain who kills the midwave and then walks in a straight line like this down the river, coming through and tries to gank. That's extremely readable. Know what's hard to read? A Quap who's been off the map for 30 seconds and hasn't shown. That is hard to read. And yes, it has many different implications. It's going to make you die less, and it's going to make your kills a lot more secured, right? Because also, ganking from a TP is a lot harder than ganking in from the side. It's not even close. So please farm your way towards your kills and keep farming even on these ganking heroes. Otherwise, if you go up in MMR, you will fall way far behind in every single game. And now this is just basically his first main TP of the game, his major TP. He made one earlier on, I know, but this TP is important as well. Why is it important? Well, first thing you try to do is generally TP at a vision. It's going to get scouted out. But regardless, why is this a fight he can TP into? Why do I like this TP? Well, his brew has split and they are very far up. It's kind of that simple. I see a lot of people TPing for a gank when the fight is happening here. It's like, guys, just go shoving a wave. 9 times out of 10, if the team is even relatively decent and they understand that you're not showing, they'll back up, right? They'll back up. Or people will TP in and it'll just be some like mini skirmish. They'll get like a kill on a support and I'm like, did you really just commit your TP for a kill on a position 5? Can it be useful? Yes. But for the most part, you want to wait for these bigger situations that allow you to actually get multiple kills. One thing I also want to point out is his perfect rune control this game. He's gotten the large majority of the runes here, right? Just after his top gank, he makes his way back to mid, farms out the mid lane, instantly scouts out the DD rune, and it's just important. It's going to shut down the SF, and it keeps his mana regeneration going. And typically when you're playing a ganking hero, you're going to have a bottle. Not always, but often. And as a result, this is very important, something to keep your head ups about. And also, you can just buy your own wards, guys. Remember that. Buy your own wards. If you're a bottle hero, you should have wards as well. If you don't, it's your fault. Don't complain to your supports that you don't have rune vision. Do it yourself. But hopefully you guys can see the main point. Basically going to end up the video here because I don't want to confuse anyone with any new ideas. I basically just wanted to say that you need to focus less on ganking, more on shoving in waves and killing jungle camps, and then when a good fight comes about, or you happen to be close to a lane or close to a fight that looks like an easy kill or an easy double kill, and your team is actually set up for it, you can make the play. Be less random, less like, oh, I'm just going to TP in a fight, less like, oh, they're diving and my team's already dead, I'm going to TP in now. No, just stick to farming, and then when things seem really easy, TP out of vision, or show up naturally through good movement because you were jungling in that direction. Or you were pushing in lanes in that direction. And that is the best way to gank. It really is. There's no secret formula. This is obviously, like, there's so many different situations to talk about that make this even more complex than I'm making it seem. But for the most part, that is what you need to have in your mind if you're going to be going on the route of these ganking heroes and you want to gank. And frankly, just to really sum it up and make it one last simple line, gank less. Gank less. Your ganks will be much better and you will farm more. And as a result, when you farm more and gank less, your ganks will become more effective because you will be a higher level with more items, especially jungle items. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. Helps our channel grow. As I say every single video. Wow, that was extremely cheesy. Peace. Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at gameleap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota. Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now, to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys, 25%, and start your journey today.